Tigers out of Conference USA. The winner to take on top seed Illinois after their win over number 16 Northwestern State. Hello again, everyone. Tim Brando, and by my side, the coach, Rick Pitino, who joined CBS Sports coverage this year. It's great to have you back, and it's great to talk about really an outstanding player that I know you love to see flourish when they're really young, and Rodney White is really young.
Rodney White, one of the premier freshmen in the country, if not players in the country, shooting nearly 50% from the field. And you're going to see just a great, great young man tonight because he has all the skills.
Obviously, this is a Tennessee team, Rick, that began the year 16-1, ranked number 4 in the country, then hit the skids at midseason. Their coach fell under tremendous scrutiny through the course of the year, and now they really fight and scratch and claw and make their way in as a number 8 seed.
Well, will the real Tennessee please stand up? They opened up 16-1. That was not the meat of the schedule. Then they go to the meat of the schedule, and it gets a lot more difficult playing in the toughest conference, the SEC.
This will be a free-flowing game with two teams that really love to get up and down the floor. We talk about Rodney White, but he's got a lot of talent with him. Joby Thomas being one, and Diego Guevara, who's played so well. Kincaid Jones, an outstanding player in the Conference USA tournament, and James Zimmerman, Yarborough, Victor, Slay, Harris, and Higgins, the starting 5 for Tennessee. Bobby Lutz, in his 3rd year, he has owned the Conference USA tournament, winning it 2 of the last 3 years. In fact, Charlotte's won it as a team 4 of the last 5. And Jerry Green, in his 4th year as Tennessee's head coach, 3-4 in the NCAA tournament. But Rick, he took the team to the Sweet 16 last year, losing to North Carolina. That's the first time in the history of Tennessee basketball they've gotten that deep into March Madness.
And 4 consecutive NCAA appearances. That's only the 2nd time in school history. How they fall into such scrutiny with that is beyond me.
David Hall, Frank Pozzoni, and Ruben Ramos, our officials for this afternoon's game. David Hall will tip it up. And the opening tap is controlled to the Volunteers. And Tony Harris, and usually as Harris goes, so go the Volunteers. He's an enigmatic player. If his shot is falling, then the Tennessee team becomes much more difficult to handle.
Well, in 6 NCAA appearances, collectively he's only scored 30 points.
Victor, a duck under. Isaiah Victor, senior from Hopkinsville, Kentucky. Joby Thomas will be running Higgins through a number of screens today. He's perpetual motion on the floor.
One of the premier three-point shooting teams, 4th in the nation.
White, too strong, pounding the boards offensively. Finally, it's taken down by Yarborough. Ron Slay had an outstanding SEC tournament. He's a true leader for this team, and in fact, in the last couple of weeks, has been much more verbal. Yarborough knocks down the 3. Just like that, 5-0 Tennessee. Conventional wisdom, Rick, is that because Charlotte likes to get up and down the floor, it helps the Volunteers in this 8-9 matchup.
I would think so. It's warfare in the low post early on.
Guevara getting the pick from White, running past Harris. Nice idea, counted and a foul.
Way to the basket.
Diego Alejandro Guevara from Valencia, Venezuela. Carabobo. His wife Patricia will be giving birth to their first child. There she is. He used to blow kisses to her, but Coach Luke said he didn't get back on defense quite quickly enough, so that has come to a...
That's a slow kiss.
That's right. That's come to a halt now that he's a veteran of NCAA tournament play. Slay quickly double team. You can see Bobby Lutz has scouted this team well, because when they run the ball through Slay, Tennessee becomes a much better basketball team. Foul goes against Zimmerman, the senior from High Point, North Carolina.
Well, he has to gather himself, react to the defense, and pass the ball right away. He had 4 guys surrounding him, and he held on to it. He has to release the basketball right away.
Higgins will trigger in the inbounds pass. Slay lost it on the way up, and a foul prior to that. The double team was there. Kincaid Jones, the senior from Lillington, North Carolina, transfers from Southwest Missouri State, picks up the foul. Kincaid Jones had an unbelievable Conference USA championship game, 8 of 11 from the floor, and leading that team to a win over Cincinnati. big games that Slay has had have generally meant W's for Tennessee.
Well, you can see the way he commands position in a low post. He's going to use his body very well around the basket. He's got a nice touch, although he missed 2 free throws.
Guevara pushes it quickly for Charlotte. Zimmerman for 3.
Three-point basket by James.
If you're going to double down on the strong side, you have to rotate over. You cannot give this team an easy 3-point shot. There was no one in his area.
After 5 unanswered for the Volunteers to open, Charlotte with 6 straight, and they lead by 1.
To show some zone, little 2-3 zone.
Higgins led the Southeastern Conference in 3-point shooting efficiency for much of the year. Some would argue that he didn't launch enough shots. Comes up dry with his first try.
Good entry pass to Jones. Not there. Yarborough rips it down for Tennessee.
Isaiah Victor finds Slay, cutting to the hoop. Outstanding play.
By Ron Slay.
That's a little more unselfishness, something that I'm sure Jerry Green likes seeing at this stage of the season.
Winner of this game to take on Illinois. Slay, a little contact inside with Kincaid Jones.
Here's that pass. Here's the double team. He reacts, sees the man rolling down the lane. The defense has to gather themselves and rotate to the inside. That was poor rotation by the defense.
Zimmerman will trigger in the inbounds pass for the 49ers. Charlotte was known as UNCC, North Carolina Charlotte. Officially, the school name is still that, but the director of athletics and the president of the university have decided that they'd rather be known as Charlotte. I think it's probably a wise move on their part, although they are still part of the North Carolina State School family.
Well, it's easier on the cheerleaders. I mean, let's go Charlotte is a lot easier.
You think of UNCC, though, you think of Cornbread Maxwell, that unbelievable semifinal game won the last second by Al McGuire's Marquette Warriors. Isaiah Victor puts it in. That, of course, was in 1977, but some say that Rodney White is the best player that Charlotte's had since Cornbread Maxwell.
The foul spotted against
Now here's
Tennessee.
the pass from Slay, back door to Victor.
Volunteers foul number 14, Tony Harris, his second.
Tony Harris just got his second, Rick, and that's concerning enough to get Terrence Woods up, along with Harris Walker. It's Harris Walker that checks into the game.
Harris Walker in for Tony Harris.
As Tony Harris takes the seat. Well, Isaiah Victor out to a good start.
White.
Oh, the dexterity. Now you see why they compare him to Cornbread.
Well, I was part of an NCAA tournament being Jim Boeheim's assistant when Charlotte beat Syracuse. But Cedric didn't get up that high.
Zimmerman, a leaner, challenging Yarborough, and Isaiah Victor picks up the foul for Tennessee.
Here's the quick first step and the explosion to the basket. That's what you call going north and south. Body to body, go to the rim. Now, you don't get out of the way. This is not a bullfight. You don't pull the thing out of the way. You step up and draw the charge.
Yeah, Victor did play a little matador there, didn't he?
No question about it. Maybe having White come at me, maybe I'd get out of the way as well.
James Zimmerman won 2 national titles at Indian Hills in junior college. This is a winner, this young man. Bobby Lutz has recruited beautifully in the last few years. And Tennessee turns it over. Timeout. We're out to a cranking start in this 8-9 matchup. Tennessee leads by 1, and for those of you that are expecting the Indiana State-Oklahoma game in the South region, or the Hilltoppers of Western Kentucky against Florida in the South, or Eastern Illinois against Arizona out in the Midwest, we'll be getting you to those games shortly. They'll be tipping a bit later. Here, an outstanding pace to this game for Jerry Green, whom I know you've known for a long time, tutored for some time with Dean Smith. Roy Williams, he was an assistant to him at Kansas before taking over at Oregon.
Well, you mentioned it earlier. that he's under a little bit of criticism. And it's really unfair criticism because the players he has are certainly very good. But you're not looking at right now lottery picks. So it really is a good basketball team.
One-point game. Not quite 5 minutes gone by here in the opening half at the Dayton Arena.
Well, an outstanding basketball environment here. NCAA tournament first-round standards. A lot of times you're in cavernous arenas. But here that's a very intimate crowd. Of course, the Dayton Flyers are known for having an outstanding home court advantage. And the basketball community here has really embraced this game. I think David Hall found some moisture on the court, wants to wipe it up, or some debris. And he wants to get rid of it. Well, don't miss a minute of action for live game updates. Go to March Mayhem's Tournament Live at the Internet's home of college basketball, cbs.sportsline.com or AOL keyword CBS Sportsline. But I think that it's nice for these teams to be playing an arena that's full and with basketball people that are knowledgeable. And this Dayton crowd really is.
It's the only act in town, the Dayton Flyers.
Isaiah Victor on the ball fake and off the ball. A whistle. Ron Slay was tied up. Goes against Rodney White. A little too much body between he and Slay. That's the third team foul now against the 49ers.
What player comes to mind when you think of the Dayton Flyers?
Wow. That's, Chapman comes to my mind.
Chapman.
Yeah.
That's a terrible answer. Donnie May.
Donnie May. Okay. Victor. Well, you know, sometimes a wealth of knowledge can be dangerous.
That's right. You don't have to be concerned about that.
11-8, Tennessee by 3. Stevens. Cam Stevens transferred from Purdue. Large role player for this Charlotte team. They have a collection of role players and a couple of stars and guys that can stick three-pointers. Thomas and Guevara. Terrence Woods. It's a young man that may have hit the biggest shot of the year on the road at South Carolina to send a game into overtime in the midst of a 5-game losing streak that the Volunteers were in. Otherwise, their tournament hopes could have been dashed.
All Tennessee has to do is go inside to out to get all the easy shots they want with the way Charlotte's playing their defense.
Guevara, not there. Follows his own shot. Out-duels Slay for the basketball.
Well, Bobby Lutz was very concerned, Rick, when he told us he looked at Tennessee's athletes and the athletic style they had. Guevara from way downtown, woefully short. And you can see now why he was concerned, because of the quickness on the floor and the size of the player that Charlotte's trying to match up with.
Well, that's one of those shots where you know someone's coming in for you and you say, let me get one more up, because that's not a great shot.
Slay, strong move on the baseline, gets the contact and a foul. Zimmerman was in position to get it, so was White. Rodney White gets the foul, his second.
Number 5, Rodney White, his second.
Zimmerman was there to give the help. White gets his second. Volunteers lead by 6. And Ron Slay has been doing damage when getting the ball, and he is understanding when the double teams are coming, Coach.
He's a killer in the low post. He's just, he seals great. He understands how to locate the defense. And then if no one double teams him, he gets to the rim.
Massive substitutions coming now for Charlotte. CBS Sports coverage of the entire NCAA basketball tournament is interactive through Ultimate TV.
For Isaiah Victor and Marcus Hayslip.
Marcus Hayslip and Charles Hathaway have come in for Tennessee, and now Diego Guevara comes to the bench for the 49ers. Replaced by Kevin Butter Johnson, among others. Along with Damon Brown, a sophomore from Baltimore. He's really been a strong player early in the season. Ron Slay takes a seat. You can see the leadership that he's providing for this team late in the year. Janice Grindstaff has come into the game for the first time now. Tennessee on an 11-2 run in the last 4 minutes and 40 seconds.
Little 2-2-1 pressure. Now they get him to set up, and his 22 seconds on the shot clock. Mission accomplished. just getting into their offense now, looking for a fade three. Makes it.
Damon Brown. Well, he got in large measure because of Guevara's injury early in the year and in the preseason. Diego Guevara had to fight through injury. Here's Hayslip. Too strong. Tennessee's problem this year at times, they've been prone to take the quick shot. Brown filling it up. 2 straight three-pointers for Damon Brown.
Well, Charlotte's team is not exactly someone's going to wait for their shot.
Don't blink. This game's going to be played at 78 RPMs. Hayslip stays with it. Terrence Woods for 3. Off the back iron, pulled down by Kevin Butter Johnson from New York City. Brown, pretty obvious where he was going to go with it. He is not bashful, Damon Brown.
Now watch Brown coming into this shot. He pulls the trigger, then shows the emotion. He knows it's good.
He's into it.
Get back on defense.
Well, he has a tough challenge today. Throws up an air ball from the wing. That may cool his jets just a bit as Bobby Lutz gives him a long stare.
Well, he's pointing to himself and saying, my bad, my bad. That gets the coach to forgive him for about 5 seconds.
I was going to say, you've put up with those for how long?
25 years.
Well, I'd love to say I feel your pain, but the truth is I really don't.
More punishment about to happen.
There you go. Harris Walker joined by Higgins, Grindstaff, Hayslip, and Hathaway for Tennessee. These are deep teams. Tennessee a bit deeper than Charlotte. Good pass. Count it, and a foul. Nice look by Walker into Marcus Hayslip.
You know, it's not they're not an unselfish team at all. They look for each other.
49ers foul number 13.
Here it comes, the baseline drive, the dish, and the finish. I always say this. Great players drive middle, inferior players drive baseline. Your options are cut off when you drive baseline, but if you drive middle, you can pass right, pass left.
Well, right now, the driving is good, whether baseline, middle, or over into the third lane. We'll be back. The last month of the year. Bad pass picked off by Guevara.
Brown. Hathaway pulls it down for the Volunteers.
Brown's a very bashful young man. But he has outstanding form on his shot, and certainly that's their game. That's their style to take those quick threes.
He's 2 for 4 from three-point range now.
Comes the double team, wide open, Hathaway inside for the finish.
And Hayslip found him a good baseline-to-baseline pass. Johnson. Kevin Johnson, known as Butter because when he was young, he was Butterfingers. He dropped everything and got tagged with that. And now he's trying to live up to some stick-to-itiveness at the collegiate level. Hayslip.
Great pass. But what I want to know on his dish to Hathaway is how you lose him. The one guy in the court you can't lose.
23-18. Over 11 minutes gone by here in the opening half.
We're in a double elbow pick and roll.
5-second call.
Here's Hathaway. They forgot to find him. Double team from block to block. And you see where the rotation should occur.
And James Zimmerman back in the game.
And it doesn't. It's a late rotation from the top elbow down to the block. Tim, you very rarely see double teams from one block to the other block. You normally see it from the strong side or from the high post area. You don't see it from block to block.
23-18, Tennessee by 5. Hayslip left wide open. He'll take that all afternoon as he rattles it home. Marcus Hayslip, sophomore from Lewisburg, Tennessee, and Lutz gets the timeout. They're singing Rocky Top here in the Heartland.
He is the perfect hunter.
He is really revealing, isn't it, Coach?
Well, you see the assists that lead to the front court scoring. 18-8 and 6-1.
And that obviously is a major factor in the game, and something that Tennessee has been criticized for a long time, Coach.
Well, I think the double down action of the Charlotte team is creating the assists. They're coming with 3 or 4 different people, and they're allowing them to pass out of it and create easy buckets.
8-point lead for the Volunteers. Charlotte struggling from the perimeter, short of Damon Brown's 2 hits, and there's Rodney White. Not a bad idea for Coach Lutz to get it in his hands coming out of a timeout.
Really the smart play. You've got to get it in the hands of your best basketball player. Hathaway's sometimes a little unsure of himself. He doesn't know what to do with the basketball. He's probably the 3rd or 4th option, and he should get on the offensive glass. It's a strong ducking.
And the foul from Cam Stevens, the junior from Fort Wayne, Indiana.
49ers foul number 10. Cam
Mentioned earlier he
Stevens,
transferred
first.
from Purdue. You know all about position basketball if you play for Gene
Charles
Katie.
Hathaway, shooting 2.
That'll get Charles Hathaway to the line. He's one of the veteran players that was scrutinized through the course of the year. Monday on CBS, what's worse than an annoying father-in-law? Well, losing your annoying father-in-law. The manhunt begins on an all-new King of Queens Monday on CBS.
There's timeout on the floor.
Timeout in Dayton. The 49ers panning for gold in the NCAA tournament.
We'll get you back to Charlotte and Tennessee in just a moment. First of all, let's check in New Orleans, where Western Kentucky holds a 15. You know, we've talked about cold shooting teams earlier. Clark, Florida came out, missed its first 4 shots and hasn't recovered.
Well, Chris Marcus, the big center for Western Kentucky, will make it tough for you to score. But you're right, Florida struggled with their shots, but Marcus is 7 feet.
Ohio, Charlotte, and Tennessee, Tim Brando and Rick Pitino.
Basketball Zimmerman.
5-point game with 6:10 and counting remaining in the first half. Charlotte 49ers out of Conference USA. They're tournament champions 4 of the last 5 years against the Tennessee Volunteers, a club that at one point was in the top 5 in the country after blowing out Syracuse 16-1 at one point, and then hitting the skids and finishing 500 in the SEC. Yarborough with the player control foul. White takes a seat.
You must let the defense make up your mind. You can't make it up ahead of time. He had his sights on getting to the rim and paid no attention to the defense.
Off the ball.
And 52 all time in the NCAA tournament. Now that's a telling stat. That's roughly 1/4 of the games are won by the lower seed in a 13-4 matchup.
Well, I'll tell you something. The committee needs to get a little smarter and just move Gonzaga up. Regardless of the strength of schedule, just move them up.
Ron Slay to Yarborough.
Basket by Vincent Yarborough.
Good anticipation.
5 in the game for Yarborough. And a 5-point lead for the Vols. Jones. Ken K. Jones.
3-point basket.
That's the 2-pointer. 32-29.
Victor rolled right into a double team by Jones. No whistle. And now Slay hits the deck along with Guevara. Ron is a spread eagle at the Charlotte bench.
Here's the steal. The recognition for the pass back door.
35, Ron Slay, his 3rd.
Excellent recognition.
Ron Slay just picked up his 3rd foul, and that is bad news for Tennessee.
Isaiah Victor, if you got to use a term tonight, it's a spin dribble will be a sign of weakness because Charlotte will be in your lap if you spin dribble. You have to think pass.
At the line for Charlotte. Tennessee.
Volunteers take a timeout with 4:43 remaining. As close as anticipated in Dayton.
What Butler did to Wake Forest was just incredible.
Here, the Volunteers of Tennessee have led throughout, but Charlotte always within shouting distance. Now trailing by only 1. Tony Harris back on the floor. He left the game with 2 fouls as Yarborough is fouled. Attacking the glass, James Zimmerman picks up the personal. But having Harris back on the floor is very meaningful with Slay on the bench now with 3 fouls.
Well, the first thing I do if I'm Bobby Lutz is I go right at him and try to get him to pick up his third. It's a big factor in the game. So you have to see, post somebody up, drive to the basket, try to pick up his third foul.
Story of a Jekyll and Hyde team, this Tennessee club, 16-1 out of the gates. And of course, grand expectations because of last year's run to the Sweet 16 and much of that talent returning for the year. Jerry Green, so successful as a head basketball coach at Oregon, but a different circumstance there. His team was primarily an overachieving team with the Oregon Ducks, and he inherited a lot of talent from Kevin O'Neill that was highly sought after, highly recruited personnel.
I don't buy the Jekyll and Hyde thing. I really do not. If you look at the schedule before the season, I can tell you where they're going to get on a run and where they're going to be cold.
Yeah.
They played some inferior teams early on in the year, and then they got into the SEC conference play. I think their record's indicative of who they are.
Well, it should have been only a 1-1 situation, and that's why we had the stoppage of play.
Referees understood that and corrected it. So that's why there was no second shot opportunity at the free throw line.
I think the shocking game, Rick, was the Syracuse blowout at the Carrier Dome. And when Tennessee did that, it did raise the expectations of their fan base. And then when they got into conference play, you're right, teams within your league know how to defend you. Sometimes when you play outside your league, teams don't know as much about you.
You can't base expectations on one night. It was a great game, certainly an off night by Syracuse, and you can't say a team is great based on one night.
Rodney White at the free throw line. Young man from Philadelphia that just been out.
Put that in the back of your mind, Coach.
Well, enjoy working with Bobby Knight tomorrow, Tim. Lubbock, Texas just got a call. CBS will feature a new color analyst to work with Tim Brando.
Just because he couldn't work with...
sold me down the river.
Right, he couldn't work with Brando. That's... this is my 6th tournament. You're my 6th analyst. What does that tell you? You're on a short leash.
Bad breath.
Joby Thomas can't hit, and underneath another foul spotted.
Those are 3 guys that you really want on the floor down the stretch in a matchup like this with Charlotte.
No question about it. And certainly taking Harris out of the game is a smart move to make.
Welcome back to Dayton, everyone. Charlotte up by 1 over the Tennessee Volunteers. Personal challenge coming before the game from Jerry Green for the Volunteers. Challenging his guard, Tony Green, who has disappeared in 6 postseason appearances, a total of 30 points. Got in early foul trouble early in this contest and has been ineffective with 0 on the board in the points department.
Well, Tony Harris has been a player that's up and down, and as he's up, the Volunteers usually are successful, and down they generally go the other way. Some defensive pressure given by Charlotte, and Butter Johnson, Kevin Johnson, picks up the personal foul.
The thing I notice most about this Tennessee ball club is they're not having a great deal of fun. There's a lot of stress in the body language of almost every player on the team. It's almost like we have to win. We have to certainly get this monkey off our back.
Yeah, and in some measure, Jerry Green, I think, has not been able to quite figure it out. You're trying to get players to buy into your system as a coach, and many times, you know, you can encourage all you want, but particularly with the seniors, guys like Hathaway and veteran players like Harris, sometimes it's easy for them not to buy in because they know, hey, it's the end of my road, and things just haven't gone our way.
Well, focus what you hear on the inside, not the outside. And that's the best thing for any basketball team. Stay within yourself. Concentrate on the team. Full court pressure. Little denial of the point guard back. Now you have to get a trap to finish it. There it is. Out of rotation.
Oh, that was excellent defensive work,
Yes.
and it leads to a travel.
That was an excellent press. First really excellent rotation I've seen in the tournament so far as full court pressure is concerned.
Well, Western Kentucky leading Florida by 3, and of course Greg Gumbel and Clark Kellogg will keep you posted on all of those games at halftime. Even if Billy Donovan's team happens to win the game, a matchup with Temple, that is a tough out potentially in a second round game for anyone, including
the way Florida likes to play.
Well, Billy Donovan has done a great job this year with his patch-up basketball team, but I don't think he has a great basketball team this year. I think they're playing hard, they're playing well, but I would not be surprised to see them go down today.
Haislip puts it in. Well, they were one of my Final Four choices. I think they fought through more this season with their mass unit than just about any team in the country. Finishing 11-1 in the last 12 games in the SEC with a team that had lost 3 of its best players at different points of the season. Stevens can't hit, and Haislip with the release to Grindstaff.
Now you need ball reversal. One more pass. That's excellent action.
Off the front iron, long rebound to Terrence Woods. Good denial by Stevens, and then the foul by Victor.
But that was a late pass. You need to pass the ball away from the defense, not to the offense.
Are not around, and we're looking at a floor now with Higgins, Haislip, Woods, Hathaway, and Grindstaff for Tennessee. Diego Guevara, joined by Ken K. Jones, Jermaine Williams, Demond Brown.
A lot of motion being used.
Joby Thomas making up the 5 on the floor for Charlotte. Haislip. Another quick shot. Higgins kept that one alive. Recovered to the 49ers. Excellent work by Jermaine Williams to save it.
He's looking to pull the shot. Now he sets him up.
See the shooting story. 7 of 16 inside the arc. 4 for 12 downtown, and Thomas finally connects with a tray.
That's a design play, a weak side stagger screen down for a 3-point shot.
That's his first bucket of the afternoon. Joby Thomas is an outstanding 3-point shooter, particularly from a catch-and-shoot situation. Hathaway rejected by Jones. Yes, and a foul. Charles Hathaway pounding the glass and his chest.
He's fired up.
Charlotte foul number 3, Ken Jones.
Here he takes it strong. Block shot. He follows it, stays with it, gets the 3-point play. Another angle. He drops the ball, takes his eyes off it, and stays with it. Look at his reaction. He's fired up. Charles Hathaway, I guess they're a little concerned about how much he's improved throughout the years. You know, certainly the one thing he'll have to work on at the conclusion of the season is his body. He has to become stronger and quicker with his upper body.
Now, you talked about stress levels for this team. They didn't look particularly happy. Coach, can you channel anger sometimes into success? If you play angry, can you, for at least a period of time, turn that into success on the floor?
I think you have to play hard. They need a victory right now, and I think all that will change for them.
Thomas not there, and Yarborough picks up another foul. That would mean 3 on him.
They took Harris out so he doesn't pick up his 3rd. You got Slay resting him. You can't bring Yarborough back and let him pick up his 3rd. Now they're in serious trouble.
1:03 remaining.
And foul certainly, but Yarborough has to realize that he can't touch anyone going over the back.
I thought you'd work in an old nickel dimer for Raftery's sake.
Well, it certainly was, but you can't pick up your 3rd that way.
Yep.
We're tied at 40. 7 lead changes.
Here comes a stagger for a 3.
Higgins off the front iron over the back. Foul will go with duty.
I think we took, and I said we were going to take an incredible number. I believe we took 15 per game.
Perception, right? It's all about perception. Well, you saw Christine, Bobby Lutz's daughter, with those fingers crossed. He wants his defense to have some wishful thinking here to stop Tennessee's 3, and they won't. Terrence Woods makes it 43-41. 3 threes for Terrence Woods since coming into the game.
Okay, now what has to happen now, you can't go too early into this pick and roll. At 6 seconds, you want to go, not too early. They're going too early. No, he's smart enough to hold it out. He's waiting at 6 seconds. You don't want to give the other team a shot.
Guevara.
And he goes too early, but he got the follow-up.
Follow. Cam Stevens as if shot out of a cannon. How about that vertical leap? What a flush that was. Don't ever doubt the ability of Hops with these young men playing for Bobby Lutz. This is a very athletic team he has.
Certainly is. Both teams are very athletic.
Picked off by Stevens. And they close out the half with fury.
Hey, sometimes a missed runner like Guevara's can be a good assist.
Here it comes off the front of the rim and the flush.
And with the clock.
Now with the clock. You want to go at 6. He goes a little early. They all challenge the shot, keeps it alive, and then the flush.
Spencer Tillman has head coach Jerry Green of Tennessee. Spence?
All right, Coach, this one living up to all the advanced billing of an 8-9 matchup. What would you like to do better in the second half?
Well, I think the big thing is to stop that three-point shot of theirs and then get that long rebound after it comes off. Got to be a little bit more patient, too, with our offense.
Good luck to you in the second half, Coach.
He'll also have to find a way to get his guys out of foul trouble.
Greg got 8-9 matchup here in the Midwest region in Dayton. We're tied at 43. A game as advertised. Rick Pitino. Both clubs really playing the style that they want, but Tennessee's got some foul difficulty that they need to address in the second half.
Certainly, only 4 and 5 turnovers by both teams, so you know it's a well-executed team play by both teams. The other thing that sticks out to me, although they're both 5 for 14 from the three-point line, they're looking at it as their primary objective.
Yeah, obviously, you look at the numbers statistically. You talked about the turnovers or lack thereof. You've got an up-and-down game, entertaining to the viewing eye, and the assists for Tennessee. I think they're passing the basketball as well as I've seen them the last half of the year in the Southeastern Conference.
Again, it goes back to points in the paint. When you work inside to outside, you go into paint, you get the assist.
Well, the big difficulty for Jerry Green will be Ron Slay's 3, the 3 for Vincent Yarborough, the 3 for Isaiah Victor. And for more on this game from Bobby Lutz's perspective, here's Spencer Tillman. Spencer?
Hey, Timmy, before the game, Bobby Lutz told his troops the last thing was no fear, no regrets. He emphasized that at halftime. He did say that they're playing pretty well right now. He would like to get the ball more, though, to his playmaker, Rodney White.
Now, White is a guy that clearly is the dominant theme down low, but when Slay has been on the floor along with Hayslip and Isaiah Victor, it's been tough for him as a one-man band down there. Kincaid Jones has helped to some extent. Hayslip starts the second half due to the foul difficulty to Ron Slay. So you see already Jerry Green's had to alter his thinking somewhat with Slay on the bench to start the second half. Rodney White took the first shot of the half for Charlotte. Harris has it stolen by Joby Thomas.
Can't leave your feet to pass the basketball unless you're certain it's going to be completed.
Harris in the open floor. He generally thrives in a free-form game.
Somebody needs to get Harris's confidence going. He's not the same player I watched the last few years. He has to get his confidence up.
Isaiah Victor can't hit, pulled down by White. Diego Guevara did hit one shot in the first half.
You know, Tennessee's playing great defense. White only gets 4 shot attempts in the first half. You know, we're going to isolate him in a low post. Let's see if they come after him.
Kincaid Jones. Well, neither team able to scratch here in the first 90 seconds of the second half.
Yarborough trying to go crossover on Zimmerman. Tough shot falling away.
And Tennessee's prone to that. Sometimes way too much one-on-one action. White.
Neither team able to score in the opening moments of the second half. Tied at 43 in a game that's seen 7 lead changes and 4 ties in the opening half. The Volunteers are struggling with foul difficulty. They have 3 players with 3 each. John Higgins not there, and the long rebound out of bounds, last touched. Well, it looks as if we're going to need some help for the officials. David Hall comes over to help. The ball does belong to Tennessee. As you look at our bracket in the Midwest region, Illinois having won over Northwestern State out of Natchitoches, Louisiana, the 16 seed. They move ahead to the second round and await the winner of this one. Tonight, 2 outstanding matchups. You really feel Syracuse, Hawaii, Kansas, Cal State, Northridge are the best shots at upsets in this region.
Well, I think Cal State Northridge is going to have a chance at an upset. Although Kansas is very good, and we said it many times, very well coached, I think Northridge is very, very much an underrated basketball team in this tournament.
Bobby Lutz defense in the opening moments of the second half. Outstanding. And you see the shooting for Charlotte, 5 for 14. But as you said, so much of their offense, Rick, designed to create open three-point shots.
Well, they're going to try it again right here to go to the low post.
Kincaid Jones gives it up to White. Zimmerman rejected by Yarborough. Zimmerman retrieves it. Over Hayslip, not there. And the 35-second clock exhausts. And both teams are 0 for 5 to open the second half after really shooting at a torrid pace in the first half.
Yarborough reminds me of a player I coached at Kentucky, Ron Mercer. They're both from Tennessee. They have their similarities, certainly, at the offensive end. Neither one was a great three-point shooter in college, but they're very similar in styles.
Isaiah Victor does corral that very high pass and then promptly throws it away to Thomas. Harris, boy, beat, right? The road runner.
Great hustle by Harrison getting back. Great hustle.
And then the double dribble by Higgins in the open floor.
See, now Harris is not having a great night. We talked about his foul trouble, but I like what he's doing out there. He's staying within himself. He's not forcing the issue. He's certainly looking up the floor, making smart defensive plays. He'll have to come alive, and this is the young man that makes Tennessee go. When he comes in the game, they're a different basketball team because he's so powerful in the low post.
Ron Slay, that player who joins up with Harris, with Isaiah Victor going to the bench.
Slay was out to a great start, had a couple of fouls that went against him, and then was saddled. White takes it right to him. Not a bad idea by the 49ers.
You know, White recognizes the flaw, untypical of a freshman. He knows where the double team's going to come from. He keeps his head up.
Marcus outside.
A little love tap. Not enough to warrant a foul, but a little love tap.
Rodney White with the only bucket of the second half for either team, coming 3.5 minutes deep. And a 2-point edge for the 49ers.
Pick and roll into an isolation for White.
Not there. Pretty good defense by Slay.
Excellent defense. Staying on the ground and challenging at the end. Here's the post-up trying to get the foul.
Look at that quickness, Rick. Slay, a little duck under. Stays with it. And the foul. Cam Stevens coming over to provide some help for both Zimmerman and Kincaid Jones, and he's tagged with the foul. So the foul goes against Cam Stevens.
Foul was on number 10, Cam Stevens. Timeout.
Charlotte with the only bucket coming from Rodney White, the outstanding freshman, up by a deuce. Opening moments, second half. Interactive telecast available on Ultimate TV. And today's heroes in this NCAA tournament, Quincy Wadley of
Amazing program. I marvel at them every year.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing what they do. You're right, they should just reseed them.
No question about it. Don't even think of those high seeds.
12 seed yet again winning over a 5, and 1/4 of the time since the field has been up to 64. That's happened. Harris runs the curl. Now, 17 different players have scored in this game. That's Tony Harris's first hoop, so mark that one down.
You know what I like coming out of the timeout? Tennessee's struggling. Jerry Green created a lot of motion, got himself a layup. You always want a high percentage shot coming out of a timeout. Gets away with the travel.
Yarborough brings it down. Now he and Slay on the floor with 3 each.
Got to watch the offensive foul inside. He's using his elbows.
Now the double team. Slay lost it on the way up, tried to save it, but into Guevara's hands.
Diego Guevara, that's the double dribble. As the left hand tapped it, it appeared. Well, they're going to say it belongs.
I'm not sure of that call. He double dribbled.
Yeah, he did double dribble. Boy, I absolutely had a double dribble, didn't you?
I'm not sure what he called, though.
Oh. I know this. Diego Guevara, double dribble.
Is there such a move as a do-over with the whistle?
His left hand clearly touched the basketball.
We'll try to get a pick and roll. And go back to him for the one-on-one.
Guevara with 5 on the shot clock has his pocket picked by Higgins. Harris is behind him.
Basket by John Higgins.
4 in the game for John Higgins. Solid leader for this team. Sophomore from Shaker Heights, Ohio. So he's not far from home playing here in Dayton.
Only complaint
This is a play designed for White in the low post with a 3 coming high.
White, not there. Stays with it, though. That young man is just mature beyond his years, isn't he?
You can't guess that he's a freshman. You really can't. And watch him play, you'd think he's a junior or a senior.
I tell you, in talking to him as I did yesterday, I came away feeling the same. It's a team that had some outstanding players that had to take secondary roles because of his emergence. Ron Slay is fouled. He tries to go through the double team.
Harris is playing the game in such a conservative fashion. I'm very surprised at that.
49ers foul number 10.
Here's Slay with the good seal. A strong move. He got fouled.
Stevens got him, and he gets to the stripe.
But you're right about Harris.
I think Tony Harris, during the course of the season, I happened to be in the area when it happened. During the Kentucky game, he was not dressed. In the middle of a fray with that included Ron Slay and a few Kentucky players, he ran off the bench and got caught in a shoving match and was ejected from the arena floor. Shortly after that, a newspaper columnist in Knoxville wrote an article, a very disparaging article, where the term punk was used. Doug Dickey, the athletic director of Tennessee, decided to call a press conference to denounce that terminology used in the paper to support Harris and his coach, Jerry Green. Since that time, Tony Harris has been very passive. It has affected, I think, and altered the way he plays the game.
Well, he certainly is not a punk. We all know that watching him play. He made a mistake. He's got to bury the pass now and just get his game back.
Stevens gets the offensive board to Thomas. Look out. That's his favorite spot. The 3 ball from up top. Joby Thomas. He has 2 of them today. 6 for the Charlotte, North Carolina native of Independence High School. Slay trying to go with the crossover step, and that leads to the foul against Kenke Jones.
I'd go inside every time to Slay and create inside to outside action. He can't be defended in the low post the way they're defending him. They're playing behind. They double late. I'd make sure we go inside to him every single time.
Higgins will trigger it in for the Vols.
And they're doing just that.
Yep. Tried to give it up, but in doing so, Damon Brown got in his way.
Well, that was excellent rotation in the trap down. They got to their spots early, and that's what created the turnover. Setup action. You're going to get the down screen for the 3 again.
Thomas for 3. You called it. Oh, the iron unkind to Joby.
And another rebound for Yarborough, just his 7th in the game.
They come with a little full court pressure.
12 turnovers now committed by Tennessee.
And most of those coming in this half, Rick. We were relatively turnover-free for both teams in the opening half.
Charlotte, Rodney White replacing
Both coaches probably got the attention of their teams defensively during the intermission, both giving up 43. And that's really one of the criticisms of Coach Green's team this year, the inability to play quality defense for 40 minutes.
3-quarter court trap. They're leaving 1 man open. 3-on-2 break. Don't leave the 3-point shooter open.
Thomas from the wing does not fall. Now Slay can handle it.
Got to come to a jump stop so he doesn't get the charge.
And he loses it. A little anxiety that time from Slay, trying to do too much.
But he does have the ability to handle it and finish.
That was a good call, Tim. He dribbled off his kneecap, his ankle, and his waist. That's a good call, saying that he's a ball handler.
Let's just say I've seen him do it before. Cam Stevens with the pop-out. Kevin Johnson. Oh, butter, like butter, slithering in the painted area. And it's a 5-point 49er lead, their largest of the day.
Yarborough played him as if he was getting a double team. He thought the double team was coming and just let him go by.
Slay for 3. Johnson another rebound.
Tennessee is deflating right now with their attitude. They need a big play defensively.
Just not a threat generally off the bounce and less driving. And it's out of bounds to Tennessee. Well, how's it going in the second half for Bobby Lute? You look at our game summary, and second chance points are with Charlotte right now, Rick. But this is a time of year, frankly, when I have someone like you to chat with. It's about who wants it more. Tournament time is different. You always approached it differently as a coach.
I think you take more chances, more risks, certainly. Try to make it more up-tempo if you're a high-paced team. But the one thing coming out of this timeout, it's essential that Tennessee gets the shot they want. It has to be a high percentage one, because right now their confidence is starting to deflate.
I appreciate your taking the risk joining me. I knew you were a risk taker, so thanks a lot.
It's nothing but a distinct honor, Tim, working with you.
Hathaway is in the game out of the timeout. There's Woods. Terrence Woods had hit 3 threes. That's his first miss from downtown.
Good execution, good shot. He was wide open. There's the ISO.
Yeah, they just clear out for White, don't they? Finds Johnson. Oh. Right back to him, and he backs up for the 3. Jermaine Williams the rebound. Second chance, third chance. Those opportunities, there are more of them for the 49ers.
One of the best way to get a three-point shot is off the offensive rebound.
Now, I always felt when you were coaching, you got more long rebounds that led to second chance threes.
Well, you actually practice that. If you see a second shot, you don't have a putback. You have to look to the three-point line.
Victor. Hathaway kept it alive to Isaiah. Tennessee unable to find it after such a strong shooting first half. Both clubs struggling to find the cylinder in the second. Brown. Long rebound to Victor. Finally corralled to Terrence Woods, and the pace slows somewhat. Charlotte 6 for 23 from three-point range. Look at the difference in the second half in shooting. 23 and 16%.
Well, Charlotte is a very relaxed basketball team. They have no fear at all. The missed shot is unimportant. They're not tight at all.
Hathaway bodying up against Jermaine Williams, and they tag Jermaine with the foul. Out of San Jacinto Junior College, Dallas, Texas, his home. Another one of the many role players for Bobby Lutz.
Diego Guevara back in for Charlotte.
Tennessee could use a layup. Execute a good underneath that a bounds play and get yourself a layup. But they're going to have some baseline screening action. Offensive foul by Hathaway, moving his shoulder off the pick.
First foul against Big Charles.
Tennessee foul number 55,
senior from Nashville, Tennessee.
His first, team second.
One of those players that well, they've never really lived up to the hopes and the aspirations of the Tennessee faithful through his career.
But a second chance in the NCAA tournament. He sees Virginia and Oklahoma struggling now. Last report only up 7 on Indiana State.
Some excellent matchups yet to come in Memphis, Tennessee. Gonzaga winning by 1 point, 86-85 earlier today.
In the press, they're leaving one person open. If you'll notice, Hathaway is down the court. So they're all matching up, but there's 3 defensive players and 4 offensive players, with Hathaway not guarding anyone. That makes it easy to get the ball in bounds. There it is, wide open. The good steal.
Oh, boy, did Harris make an outstanding play there. Right past Guevara. Harris Walker.
They need this 3.
Higgins. Well, he was the most efficient in the Southeastern Conference for the bulk of the year. 7 in the game, and it's a 2-point Charlotte lead. And Harris Walker started it all with the steal. Late in the year, Terrence Woods and Harris Walker played much better than Tony Harris and John Higgins. And they've used both Woods and Harris Walker this afternoon. Kevin Johnson up and over Woods. Oh, the iron kind to Butter. And it's 54-50. 9 in the game for Kevin Johnson. Woods, too strong. Long rebound tapped out by Victor.
Usually leads to a 3.
Well, that was a foul given up by White that you rarely see. That was a very impatient foul by them. Butter Johnson picks it up rather than Rodney White.
Now what you're going to see here, on the catch, there are 2 and 3 people in his lap. In order to stop that, you have to pass it early.
Sometimes the decision making a little slow.
Well, you have 3 people sitting in your lap. You have to find the open person. Pushing the back by White.
Rodney White, rarely tagged with foul difficulty throughout his career.
Team 6.
I asked him yesterday about becoming a team leader. He has been very verbal with this club. He's always the last to talk to the team before coming out. He said with the injuries to Guevara early, he and Joby Thomas, Guevara, were very willing to allow Rodney White to become a verbal leader for this team. He really appreciates it. This is a very happy team, this Charlotte 49er bunch. Walker goes crossover and pulls up. Too strong, and a foul against Tennessee. Isaiah Victor in position along the baseline. That's his 4th foul. So he becomes the first volunteer to log a 4th personal foul.
For Tennessee, Ron Slay for Isaiah Victor.
Ron Slay will be pressed into duty for him.
Again, Tim, you'll see it. They're not matching up. Somebody's always going to be open.
There you see the foul difficulty. Yarborough and Slay each with 3, 4 for Isaiah Victor.
I don't like the half-court trap because it gives the wide open 3 against a team like Charlotte.
Now that's just a very, very bad foul by Ron Slay.
Tennessee veteran by number 5.
Sometimes the emotion of the game can get the better of Ron. He knew he had 3. Times like that, you have got to measure up mentally and athletically.
Tennessee substitution Marcus Hayslip.
54-50, Charlotte with a lead, 7:48 remaining. And a very difficult time for players like Hathaway and Woods and Harris and Slay. In the case of Harris and Slay, foul trouble has been a factor. And Ron Slay still on the floor, playing with 4. So, I mean, obviously they're counting on Ron to play with more intelligence in the remaining 7:40 that we have left in the game. Jones trying to work over Hayslip. Forced into a fall away and counted.
How about the pivot, the recognition, and then the shot?
A dozen in the game for the freshman All-America candidate, Rodney White from Philadelphia's Newport Prep.
They could use a 3 here. An open 3 would help this cause. Going to use the pick and roll. No, he one-on-one ISO. The strong move, great move.
Just didn't finish.
You have to keep your eyes focused on the rim and finish the shot because that was a quick move to the basket.
Guevara.
Backbreaker.
Oh, what
Backbreaker.
a huge 3 that was. Now suddenly a 9-point lead, largest lead of the game for Bobby Lutz's team, and Diego's wife Patricia, all hands. 1 for 5 from downtown. That was a very big 3. Yarborough in traffic.
Well, they missed the shot. They deflate. Now you got to talk and guard somebody in transition. They're going to get another one.
Look out. He's normally a guy that once he makes one can get on fire in a hurry. Nice pass to Slay, and he misses a subtle slam. Well, what a tough luck miss that was, and an unselfish play by Harris Walker.
Here's they missed a layup. Nobody picks him up. Too good a shooter to leave him that open in transition.
For Joby Thomas and Rodney White.
Here's the miss by Slay.
I think he chose late not to jam it.
Right, it looked like he left a little too early.
Yep.
Couldn't jam it. Was in between a layup and a dunk.
Well, the Volunteers now in a position where their defense must be a difference maker.
They need some courage right now. They've got to step up defensively.
Offensive foul off the ball against Kincaid Jones. That's his 3rd. Well, don't forget, we've got a lot more coming your way tonight. First round games that begin. Cal State Northridge and Kansas, the 4 versus 13 game here.
Alabama State against #1 Michigan State in the South. Providence against 7th-seeded Penn State. Timmy Welsh's club has really played well. Iona, the Gale, Rick, and now truly one of the Coach of the Year candidates in the country.
No question. I'd give it to Al Skinner, though, an ex-teammate of mine.
Yep.
They were picked to finish at the bottom of the Big East, and he's just had a tremendous season.
Mississippi, a similar situation. They were picked 6th in the SEC West and went on to challenge for the championship. Yarborough with a slam, and it's a 5-point game, 59-54.
Great talent. You just need to see more of it. Has to be consistent.
Timeout, 49ers. The Volunteers hope to play above the rim. They certainly need more inside the cylinder. Look at our game reset, Rick, in that Tennessee has some fouls to give late, trailing. Already the bonus situation for them should Charlotte foul. But Jerry Green's got to make sure the right guy does foul, because individually he's got big-time players in foul trouble.
What Tennessee has to make sure of right now is that they do not give Charlotte the three-point attempt. Coming out of the timeout, let's see what Bobby Lutz wants to run.
Jamon Brown, James Zimmerman, Diego Guevara, Cam Stevens, and Rodney White on the floor for Charlotte. Nice entry pass to Stevens, and he loses it. Good help defense from Yarborough there for Ron Slay.
Yarborough needs to pick it up. He's the most physically talented man on the floor, with maybe the exception of White. He has to look to take over this Tennessee offense right now.
Well, Florida now up by 2 over the Hilltoppers. That South region matchup. Hayslip won't fall. Slay.
Oh, he got fouled. He got fouled. That's a three-point play.
And he's upset about it, and understandably.
Actually, both players got fouled. The first shot as well as the second.
Cleaning up low post as well as hand checking, a long-time point of emphasis during the regular season. White. Stevens on the offensive glass. Nice work.
Yarborough's got to be much more physical in his blockout. He's being too passive on the blockout. He's got to hit that man. There's too much at stake right now to give an easy shot.
Tony Harris on the floor with Hayslip, Yarborough, Slay, and Higgins. Slay, great shot.
And you know, that's one that you say, well, is that a prayer? No, I mean, he's got that in his arsenal.
Got to be careful of the offensive foul on the seal, though. He's backing into the man too much.
That's been a problem with Ron throughout his career at Tennessee. 61-58. Just over 4 minutes remaining. Brown with the dump down to White. Kick out to Zimmerman.
Can't have that. You cannot have a wide open man from the three-point line with the game on the line at this stage of the ball game.
64-58.
Plenty of time here. You have to get a good shot. The quiet Harris.
Slay off the bounce. That's a block. Well, he puts some pressure on the officiating crew there. And Ruben Ramos tags the block.
I agree. He was not there, but the offense initiated the contact. I'd make it an offensive foul. See, he's not set, but the shoulder leans into the man. He initiates the contact. I make that an offensive foul.
And Cam Stevens gets the personal. That's his 4th foul.
So he becomes the first 49er with foul difficulty to go along with Kincaid Jones. So actually 2 for them. White and Johnson each with 3. But the way this game has gone, clearly the team that could not stand to lose a presence would be Tennessee. Ron Slay needs to be on the floor.
No question. He's taking chances at the right time.
Two for 6 at the line. Make it 2 for 7. Well, the problems continue for Tennessee at the stripe.
You're going to see Charlotte's best play right now.
Yeah, this is a dagger possession, isn't it? With over 3 minutes to play, you could get a 3+ possession lead.
Tennessee's doing a good job of denying they're going to look for White late.
Guevara not there, and an excellent shot. Yarborough pulls it down.
There's the dump down to Slay. That's where you want it. Nice duck under. Looking for a call. Did not get it.
Got to get out of 3 seconds.
Tony Harris, a floater. Well, at long last, Harris back in the scoring column. He has 4 in the game. 64-60.
Harris is looking for the steal.
Charlotte's led by as many as 9 in the last 5 minutes of this game. White off the window. Victor comes down with it. And a foul against K. Jones. And that's 5. I think he was looking to tie up his man, and in so doing, he got him with the body. And that'll do it for K. Jones.
K. Jones, his 5th, team's 9th.
The good touch keeps it alive. They get to the floor.
Yep. Good call. Got him with the body clearly while Victor was on the deck.
No question.
Well, K. Jones, who meant so much to Conference USA's tournament championship team when he performed so admirably. He missed 35 days this year of practice because of a broken wrist. He's a banger of bumps and bruises kind of player. Leaves this game with 8 points.
You got to make their free throws now, make this a 2-point game, and you'll see what Charlotte wants to get out of their offensive set next time down. They have plenty of time to set up the play they want.
Problems at the line continue. 6 of 16 as a team, Rick.
Tennessee at the free throw line. Therein lies the difference in the game. Charlotte decides to spread the floor. A 2-possession lead with just over 2 minutes left. And remember, Tennessee has fouls to give as a team. Baseline pass, very dangerous, corralled by Thomas. Tough shot. Oh, the bank is open. 66-60, under 2 minutes left. 8 in the game for Thomas.
Yarborough. That's a 2-pointer. 11 in the game for Vincent. 66-62.
Apparently, a whistle stops play. I think they were thinking there was an injury. I believe they were concerned that Cam Stevens may have been hurt, so the officials blew the whistle. So we do have an official timeout. Look out, 49ers, Volunteers looking to move ahead.
52.
Charlotte leads by 4. Now a look at our CBS Sportsline stat of the game. Backcourt scoring, 49ers getting the better of it there. For complete tournament coverage, go to cbs.sportsline.com. As we reset it for you, 3 timeouts for the 49ers, 2 for Tennessee, the possession arrow to Charlotte.
Well, now at this stage in the game, Tennessee has to figure out who to foul. From a percentage standpoint, they're going to look for the turnover. They're going to run and trap a little bit. What you have to be careful of here is that you don't leave a man wide open for a 3-point shot. There it is.
There's the steal. Harris Walker, and he has numbers. Yarborough fouled from behind. Jermaine Williams and Zimmerman both in position. Boy, Harris Walker has been a difference maker.
James Zimmerman gets the foul.
Charlotte was not ready for that run and jump. They were not ready, not prepared for it. They had a play called and who to go to. Jerry Green did a terrific job of changing his defense, coming out and forcing the mistake.
Bobby Lutz was concerned about the quickness of the Tennessee team, and coming out of the timeout, a well-defined defensive plan that the Volunteers followed. Well, that one danced all over the rim.
Well, if they lose this game, you can just look back to the free throw situation at the end. They're 6 for 17 right now. He has to make this one. They have to get into their full court trap, force another mistake by Charlotte.
To the winner, a shot at top seed Illinois. And it's now a 1-possession game as Damon Brown checks into the game, replacing Williams.
Offensive for defensive substitution now for Bobby Lutz.
Now they're not leaving anybody open. They're matched up. They're going to get the quick trap. You have to get another one as he gets close to half court and then rotate.
Look at the handle on Rodney White. Outstanding freshman. Thomas is an offensive option when the clock winds down if Tennessee decides to play straight up and not foul. And there is the foul. But Guevara is not the gentleman that you'd like to foul.
Tennessee foul on number 5, Harris Walker, his second, team's 5th.
Three-point game. The 49ers, 9th seeded, taking on the Tennessee Volunteers with a foul to give. Guevara, that was a 15 foul.
I'm not sure why you foul.
Yeah.
There's 17 seconds to go, and you give them another 35 seconds in that situation.
Yeah, it's almost as if they panicked too soon.
Here's Ron Slay. Almost had the steal, playing with 4 fouls.
Well, that was his 5th foul.
Yeah.
That was his 5th foul. He's gotten away with 2 now on the offensive foul as well as that one.
And Bobby Lutz can't believe it.
Rodney White, he's calm.
And Guevara, now
And
remember,
he's got a layup.
White missed the finger roll, but got it back. And then Higgins, reaching in, picks up the foul. Wave off the basket. Boy, Ron Slay, his defensive presence is the reason White missed the finger roll. Now you can credit Slay's just ability on the floor, because White generally just does not miss a shot from point-blank range.
But look at how quick his hands are, though, as he gets the ball back. He misses it. There's the rebound. He comes right up with it. Shooting team on the year, and they've missed crucial ones down the stretch. They've got to come up with a big stop here, then come down and convert and get into their full court press.
Really can't afford, can you, to use all 35 seconds of the clock?
No, not at all. They need a steal. They need a double team and then a steal. Here's the double team.
Almost got the steal. Zimmerman corrals it, and then Yarborough on the reach in. And that means to the line for 1 and 1.
Vincent Yarborough, his 4th.
That's 4 on Yarborough. Volunteers have played in foul trouble throughout this game, and yet Kincaid Jones is the only player to have fouled out, and he is a Charlotte 49er. Terrence Woods comes in for Walker. He's got the better three-point shot. Walker, of course, the quick hands defensively that forced a turnover a few moments ago. Zimmerman is a 74% free throw shooter as Guevara goes to the sideline.
Well, they make a defensive substitution right now.
Zimmerman now 0 for 3 today after that miss.
This could tie it up.
Tony Harris for 3. Never got the shoulders square. On the deck, tie ball. The arrow to Charlotte.
But I just can't fathom. Now, I've been away from it and haven't watched Tennessee in a while, but how this young man's confidence has just reached a low point. He wasn't even close in that three-point attempt.
For Charlotte, number 21.
And I just hate to see that, Tim, because you'd like to see people on top of their game, certainly from a confidence standpoint.
Well, Tony Harris may be an example, Rick, of what happens too often. Players that are told when they're in middle school that they're the best,
And in high school that they're unchallenged, that they may only need to stay in college for a short time. And the Damon Stoudemire comparisons are over for Tony Harris, and far too soon.
and you're right, it's unfortunate. Harris Walker reaching in,
which means it's free throw time again for the 49ers. That's really all Jerry Green can do at this stage.
His 3rd, team's 8.
I think one of the things we've learned in the first round of this tournament, Rick, is that players that are outstanding, highly celebrated recruits at the major elite conference level that are young, can't match up with mid-major players that are juniors and seniors that stay throughout their collegiate careers.
Well, I recruited Vincent Yarborough. He's one of the most celebrated high school basketball players in the land, certainly. And he's a good basketball player, but he has to be consistent. He has to play every possession as if it's his last. He can't show 1 out of every 3 minutes that he has great talent.
Zimmerman 0 for 4, but the loose ball control to Charlotte. Who wants it more? And right now, it appears to be the team from the Queen City in Charlotte, North Carolina.
His 2nd, team's 9.
Higgins gets the foul, his 2nd, and Joby Thomas, that's exactly the man you want at the free throw line if you're Bobby Lutz. 91% from the floor. In fact, has only missed 5 shots all year at the free throw line.
But this is far from over. There's plenty of time left in this basketball game. You're going to be down 5. You come down, you get a quick 2 or 3. Follow it up, get into your full court pressure, foul again.
Last time in the NCAA tournament, a win over Rhode Island, a loss to Oklahoma 2 years ago for Bobby Lutz. 5-point game. Well,
You have to push it right now.
Yarborough has it. He's hit the big shots in the second half.
White the rebound.